I hope my presentation is viewable.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, video is it? Video shall I on it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, happy morning to all. One and all gathered here. I really give my immense pleasures to thanks to Dr. Ambedkar Kumar sir to give the wonderful session to handle this. Okay. So now we'll go for my topic today as 2D CNN. So that's we can call convolution neural network, how it is going to be applied for two-dimensional images. Okay, so when you consider that this is a general representation of how the neurons is going to be correlated with your layers. So when you see this, the first will be represented for how the neurons will be having, will be as biological representation. It's having nucleus, axon, cell body and branches of axon. That's going to be making to converted as a notation. That's a symbol we can call here will be cell body. So what is the thing will be happen in the cell body? So the input we are going to be getting from the sensors. So similarly, the input images here we are going to be getting as through the data sets. So the input is going to be processed, that we can call it as an axon of neurons, and it's going to be making to weighted value will be summarized such that I can get it as a summation of all the weighted with the input frame values, and the bias is going to be added with that. So in order to such that I'm going to be applying some activation function in that, I can get it as an output. Okay, so in this slides, we are going to discuss about how the classification is going to be, computer vision task is going to be carried over. So this diagram is represented as a layers. So the first, the X is, you can call it as the n number of inputs, and the next we have the in between n number of hidden layers is there. The output we are going to be getting either single or multiple classification or binary classification. So it's having as a densely connected, the every nodes will be connected together with the every hidden layers in between. So that is we can call densely connected. So now we are come to that CNN. What is the CNN? Why the CNN we have to carry over? So the CNN will be when I'm using as a multi-perceptron neurons, so it's going to be making to help to extracting the information from the images. So extracting the information as in the sense, so the features we are extracting from the images in order to apply the classification problems. So that is the CNN. The word generally CNN, convolution, it's represented for taking the input image pixel values. Convol, the convol is a word will be combining the two things. So that representer, we taking the pixel value of input and we are going to applying some filters or mask we can call, or kernel we can call, so such that the two matrix is going to be value will be combined together and getting the new matrix value. So from the input image I am getting the new new output image matrix, that's we can call it as a feature maps. So now we see the let's see one by one. When you're taking as different types of CNN, we have that. So this is based on input, how it is going to be categorized. But general categories, we have that different CNN will be is there. Now, we'll, according to two images of input, it categorized as a 3. So the first one-dimensional CNN. So it can be represented for linear problem solving. So it's moving for only in a one directional, the kernel will be moved. Say example, time series data we have to process, we can go for this one-dimensional CNN. So two-dimensional CNN, which can be moved for both the directions, either vertical or horizontal. So according to that, so the sliding will be moving, the image is going to be generally labeling and classification problem, we can go for that. So next, the 3D CNN will have the three directions. Generally, we can use it in the research like medical image processing, the PET images, CT images, and MRI. We can apply the CDNN. So today we'll see that two-dimensional CNN images, how it is going to be processed, and I'll have one demo with how the classification is going to be carried over with the CIFAR-10 data sets. Okay, so now when you consider the 2D images, generally we have that 3 dimensions. So one is that is a channel. 2D means you know it as height and width. 3D dimension means we have that along with the depth. But now you are considered as here will be grayscale and RGB images in the 2D. So first we have the 3 dimensions we are represented, including the channel. So the first height and width of the images, you know it as what is the pixel resolutions we are represented. The channel will be represented for what is the colors. It is a grayscale or RGB images. Advanced we have the HSI, then hues, intensity, and then CMY. Like this, the different colors of images is there. But here I'm considering for if it is a RGB value, it's a 3 combination value. So red, green, blue. So the channel will be 3 represented. The grayscale we have to represent it for zeros and ones. It's a 1 color, that is a 1 we have to represent it. So now when you see the 2D grayscale pixel value, there's an image I have to show here. So grayscale images. So that we have make it as a ranges of value from 0 to 255. So 255, the color is we can call it as a white, and 0 we can call it as a black. In between we have that the ranges of the value of gray value will be presented here in the 2D dimensions. So this is a height and width we have to getting as a 2D grayscale pixel value. So now we'll go for RGB pixel value. Obviously we all know it's a red, green, blue. So we have that original image is there. Height and width will be presented. This is height and width will be represented in a pixel resolution 5x10. When you consider that 3 channels, that is the channel will be 5 red, green, blue. So the this is the matrix representation of this will be represent. So 5 cross 10 cross 3. Okay. So if you 2D, we can represent 5 cross 10. No need to represent explicitly as a 10. It represented for grayscale. So this is the RGB color combination will be presented for red, green, and blue for the given images will be shows. So now how the CNN will be represented for, actually the zeros and 1 will be digital formatted. That will be given as an example. The digit will be has given as an images that represented as an array format, such that what are all the cells will be having presented that pixel, that will be going to be having the 1 value. So this portion will be covered as 1. So this will be covered as 1. And what are the portions will be covered? It will be going for this. That's a pixel value will be represented as a 1. The images, the pixel is presented in that. If it is not presented, we can represent for zeros. So now we'll go for how the CNN recognize the images. For example, here I am giving as a backslash and forward slash a symbol. So the masking will be represented. The slash symbols according to the masking will be as a top left corner and bottom right corner will be in your active stages, which means both the value will be considered for ones. The remaining will be as 0. This is a masking to apply in your symbol. I can get it. So similarly, the opposite we have to getting as here will be 1, 1, and we can get it as a 0, 0 by applying your different masking like we have the Sobel, Privet. These are the different kinds of the mask we can apply for this. So whenever you are pressing the keys in your backslash in your systems, how the images will be captured and it's going to be processed because of this masking values. So finally, the CNN recognizing an images as in the another example as images I represented. So what are all the pixels will be in your matrix, we are going to be activated, that is represented as a 1. The remaining will be 0. This is the actual image representation of your black and white pixels. So now we'll go for CNN. The CNN will be having as a that is main layers will be as a 3 process of layers. First one, convolution layer, pooling, and fully connected layer, or the fully connected layer we can call dense layers. And convolution layer, and we have the 2 important parameters you are going to be processed, the dropout and activation function. So I'll explain this while architecture I'll explain what is the purpose of dropout and activation I'll explain. So what is a CNN architecture will be going to be processed, how to get that. So the we have the three main layers, convolution, pooling and fully connected layers. How it is going to be stacked. Generally the fully connected layers will be at the end of the layers will be connected. So this is a constant position will be provided, but convolution and pooling layer, initial layer is always convolution layer and end of layer will be fully connected layer. And convolution pooling is a combination layer you can form such that the layers are stacked, the CNN architecture will be formed. Okay, we have the different CNN architecture models is there, like predefined trained model like LeNate, AlexNate, ResNate, Inception. So we'll see one by one. First, we'll see how the simple CNN architecture will be is there. Because this is a customized one, so you can define that it is not a constant here, but the constant layer, the position will be as from the input, the convolution will be as started, then at the end with it will be ended with your fully connected layer. In between the layers only will be have the combinations, like 2 convolution sequence will be getted, and then we have 1 pooling, and 3 convolution I have to set it as a get it as a sequence. I can apply for the pooling layer. So we have to make different combination as per that. Okay, so now how the CNN general architecture for the 2D images I am going to be given here. So the first, the input is going to be given. Generally, it's going to be CNN is processed as a 2 classifications, that is a 2 partitions will be is given. Feature extraction and classification process. So feature extraction will be comes up to that before flatten layer. So from the convolution to the flatten, before the flatten layer, we are going for applying those layers to extracting the features. So if then after then fully connected layers, then it will be going for classification process. So the first step, so the input images is going to be applied for your convolution with the help of your activation functions is there. We have ReLU activation function, TANS activation function. So n number of activation functions is there, and I'm going to be applying this will be for pooling. The pooling will be having 2 process, generally maximum pooling, average pooling. We'll explain one by one. So after that here, we are going to be applying the convolution with ReLU. Again, I'm applying as a pooling layer. Again, I'm going for convolution layer. Again, I'm going to applying for pooling layers. So 3 convolution layer, in between the pooling layer I applied. So totally here 6 layers will be considered, with the fully connected layer 7 layers. So totally this simple architecture I have to, this is customized CNN. So I have taken as an example for this. This is not for constant always, but we have to say that in this example, we have to carry over 3 convolution layer, 3 pooling layers and fully connected layers will be there. Totally 7 layers. This is a 7 layer CNN. We can give the name. Okay. So likewise, if you reduce it or extend, we can give you customized name, your name you can give it. So the person who's developed, the name is given for that. So when the process will be happen between the convolution and flatten layer, so the feature mapping, why I have to apply convolution pooling or combination that, so that only I have to make it as a essential features to exactly classify my objects. So these are the thing we can call feature maps. Okay, so that is I said the 2 parts in the CNN architecture, feature extraction and classification. So it will be happen before convolution, before fully connected layer, after fully connected layer, we can categorize. Okay. So when you're taking as a feature extraction, convolution is going to be applied. The first process convolution. What will be happen in the convolution means we have the 3 elements in the convolution: input image, feature detected, and feature maps will be happen. So if you see the images here, the input images is there. Okay, this is a convolution operation symbol will be presented, and here will be I'm going to be using as a kernel or filter like masking. Like you are using in a network, the sliding window protocol is just sliding your frames. Similarly, the frames, the kernel will be has filter or mask is going to be sliding, will be moving vertical or horizontal. So that is a position we have to move it. We can get it as new images. That means I need it as what is the edges I needed to represent for this classification of this images, how the face of particular persons to identify. Okay, so that's here the mask value will be having 3 cross 3, 5 cross 5, 7 cross 7, 9 cross 9 is there. So according to your image resolution, I have to choose it. Okay, so this is the example I have to consider for 7 cross 7 example. For example, this resolution, for example, I consider 7 cross 7 pixel I have to consider for images, and here the feature mask I'm going to be applying here. So what will be happen, this entire mask is initially is going to be applied, but the actual images will be presented of this, but it is not when I'm going to be applied directly this filter to this only actual images, the corners will be as lost. So we have to getting as a loss and misclassification problem will be happen. So what they did, I'm going to be adding the paddings. So padding is zeros you are going to be making to add it, so that I can retain the even corner details I have to getting as edges to classify the objects will be properly. So that's why the padding will be input images is going to given, that pixel value will be padding process will be happening the first step, and the feature detector is sliding is going to be applied. So I will be getting us this value. How this getting this value? We'll see this here. So for suppose original image is there, for example, I have to take in here, and convolved image will be getting us like the feature, the next step will be as blurred. So because this features is enough to identify this original images. So this is a convolution layer, how to make it as only one filters. I said this previous here. Here will be only one filter I show it. In the backend, we have the n number of filters. That is that filter I have to use it. That filter will be decide the depth of your images. What is the size of you are going to be processed. So for example, we have that input images according to with your padding, and we have the n number of filters you are going to be having processed. This n number of filters going to be extracting each features. So one filters can extract the edges, one filters can extract the lines, one filters can extract the boundaries. So one filters can extract the region. So different kinds of HOG, so different kinds of features, each filter will be extracted. So that is the convolution layer will do. Suppose if you want to get it as a sharpening of an image, you can apply this mask value will be, the center pixel will be 5 and the remaining will be -1. You can get it as your sharpening of images. Unlike blur images, you have to get it by applying as all the ones in the mask. And if you want a edge will be detected, we can make it as a centroid value will be -4, and the diagonal remaining will be as a 1. So you can get it as the edges of the features. Okay, so depends on that. In taking us in your medical image analysis, I need it as a sharpen of images, so that I have to predict the distance will be properly. So that there I have to choose it as a sharpening of mask. So depends on the application, we have to choose it. So first we'll go for that padding. So padding, how we can add it as a padding equations will be as, so n minus f plus 1 into n minus f plus 1, that is the padding size equations we have to getting. So when you're taking as what is the n, it's a input size, and filter size I have to set that filter size is always as a odd numbers. So we have to consider that n minus f plus 1, n minus f plus 1, we can get it as what is the images after convolution, the size will be having getting. Okay, so when you consider that the padding will be without padding, we have to go for this how the image sizes will be, convolution will be as applied. But when you, I said the adding the zeros of padding, so that we can get it as a even as a, you should not miss it as a corners of an even a single pixel value, you should not miss it from the corners of edges. So if I miss it the corners of edges without adding the padding in your images, what will be happen? So the misclassification, again I said misclassification will be happen. So I have to adding as a padding here. So when you are add the padding, your matrix size will be becomes as P will be as padding will be activated. So the padding matrix size and filter size and input n will be processed, so that the equation will be carried out for after your convolution is processed, your input pixel will be n cross n will be becomes as n plus 2p minus f plus 1, n plus 2p minus f plus 1, because we are having as a square matrix only. So this is for your height and width resolutions will be processed. Filter will be represented for how many number of filters you are going to be applied, we are getting that. So in your padding, we have generally valid and same will be have the two kinds of process. So if you didn't add any padding, because initially convolution we are going to be applied, so that time the valid padding, the equation will be carry over. The valid, which means we are not taking the process for padding in your process. That means input image is directly given to your process for convolution. So next will be next step only, the padding zeros is going to be added. The equation will becomes like this, n plus, that is equation input, the output size will be presented n plus 2p minus f plus 1. So this is a padding process will be happening. How we are going to be applying your input images for black and white zeros and ones, it's going to be getting your values. Now I'll take it as one example. So this is your input image, the matrix I have to carry over 7 cross 7 matrix I have to carry over, kernel will be 3 cross 3. Okay, so now, so the first I have, this is a horizontal sliding I'm going to be apply. So this kernel will be going to be applied on this, in the layer, in this layer we are going to be applying your kernel. So what will be happen will be process, we have to multiply this all the values. This 0 and this 0 will be multiply. I have to get it as a 0, and again this 0 0 0, this will be multiply, again get it as a 0 0. So this is also 0. When 60 will be multiplied with your 5, then we have to get it as the value 300. Okay, again this value will be multiplied minus 113. That is minus 1 value will be multiplied with your 113. I can get it minus 113. Again it's getting as 0. This is will be minus 73. So minus 73. I have to make it as added both, subtracted from those 300. I can get the value will be 114. So this each and every pixel of kernel will be multiplied with each and every pixels of this. So I have to place that value will be got it as 114. When next step, the kernel will be going to be 1 pixel will be movement, that is we can call it styled. So only 1 pixel I have to move it. So next nearest neighbor I have to move with 1 pixel, that's we can call it as a styled. Styled 1 means it's a 1 neighbor will be moved. Styled 2 means the pixel will be moved to here. 2 pixels neighbor will be moved. So now the second pixel again I have to carry it out. This will be 3 cross 3. Again you have to apply this for this value 0 0 0 0, and 60 will be multiplied with minus 1, 113 multiplied with your 5, and 56 multiplied with your minus 1. Again minus 1 will be multiplied with your 121. I can get the value of 328. Similarly, we have to keep on move your sliding. We have to getting as a 420, 421. So that's why I'm adding as a padding. If I didn't add padding, what will be happen? The things will be carry over from input images, and the kernel will be convolved from this your actual input images. So I can lose the actual details. Okay, because the 0 will be multiplied with the 60. I'm getting as a 0. Maybe in a corner I have as an actual feature extraction to identify or classify that object. So that's I'm going to be added for padding. So this is the padding steps. Either vertical we can do it or horizontal we can do it. Generally prefer for horizontal. And this is a convolution. How the convolution process is going to be actually carry over. Input images is there, and kernel I'm going to be applied. So this is a way we are moving from horizontal. With the help of the strides will be movement 1 or 2. So we are getting as a final after first convolution layer will be as an applied. I got the matrix will be as this. So you can see this here, the matrix size will be 7 cross 7. Now it's going to be getting as the matrix will be 5 cross 5. So after each convolutions, we are going to be processing as this. And when you consider the pooling, next layer I'm going to be moving that pooling types. We have the maximum pooling and average pooling, which can be represented for dimensionality reductions. So when we are applying as from convolution layer, so the image size will be the image size will be as extended. I have to make it to extract the essential high level features, so that I'm going to be applying as a maximum pooling. As olden days, we have used a linear CNN architecture, we used as average pooling. But the classification ratio will be, as accuracy will be less. So I'm going to be go for maximum pooling is preference for nowadays in all the CNN models like Google Linear. We are going to be using this maximum pooling at all. So maximum pooling, how it going to be processed is reduces for the image sizes. Okay, we have the 4 pixels, for example, 4x4 matrix I have to take in here. From the convolution layer, I got it as an output, you can consider. So the maximum pooling value will be considered here will be 20. So that will be taken here. So again, among this 4, because the pooling I have to take it as a 2x2. So the maximum value I have to process here. Average pooling, the 4 value will be pixels value will be taken as an average value I have to process here. So this is a pooling type. So after convoluted images, I have to getting as a maximum pooling images will be as getting the output will be like this, because this enough to make it to classify the car objects. So I already said the stride. Stride will be number of movement of your windows in your vertical or horizontal direction in your convolutions. So this operations will be final output of this after stride will be carry over. The output size will be, so n will be input image or the previous convolution layer, and p will be padding as your either p will be valid or same. We should have to identify strides level we have to represents 1 or 2, and filters usually we have to use it as 1, but when the image resolution pixel size will be very large, that time we can use it as a strides value will be 2. For example, if you consider the background images of a particular image having more backgrounds, but the foreground object will be as in a small portion. So that time we can go for your strides value will be 2, taking as a forest. So the background will be as a trees and the foreground will be having as an object will be as an animals. So the portions of will be occupied in that image will be as less. So that time the striding I can move it as a 2 instead of 1. Whenever the background images will be as we are going to be segmentation will be more, I can go for 1. So the output of filter size will be considered for n plus 2p minus f. Okay, so the p value will be padding and valid. So the strides value will be added with your 1. So I can get it as an output of the strides. So that we can, the strides will be helped to reduce your image dimensionality reduction, it will be reduced. So when you consider that activation functions, we have sigmoid, tanh, relu, leaky relu, and maxout and yelu we are using as here. And what is the purpose of activation functions? So when you consider as the images, it's having a pixel value from 0 to 255. So the 0 to 255, I cannot incorporate it in your classification value in your fully connected layers. Classification probability we are going to be applied from 0 to 1. So how I can make it my image pixel value will be as 0 to 1. The classification ranges I have to consider. I have to apply this activation function so that the pixel value will be of feature extraction from each layers. So applying maximum pooling layer, applying convolution layer, we are using applying sigmoid. This activation function we are going to apply. The pixel value of images going to be incorporated with the probability value from 0 to 1 range, so that the classification I can carry it out easier. Okay. Because we have the 0 to 255 classification value, I cannot have a classification range of that. So that's a sigmoid, and we have that relu activation function, we have to use it. So we are using as a maximum pooling, so that I'm going to applying as a relu value will be carry over only positive pixels. So images will be carry over only for the positive pixels, not for the negative pixels will be considered for background images. So classification purpose we have to consider for foreground object. So we have to taken for positive pixel values only. So I'm applying the relu activation function in your convolution layer after applying that. Okay. So that is the maximum pooling going to be considered. The sigmoid we have that softmax function which can be used to help for classification. When I going for binary classification, suppose you are going to given one images. He is a person or not. Suppose you are going to given us one cancer disease images. So the disease is there or not. So that time I can go for classification only 2. Okay, either yes or no. So I can go for the ranges value will be as maximum. The sigmoid value will be considered this equation 1 by 1 plus e to the power of minus x, the range value will be 0 to 1. So it will be taken for your process for binary classification. Then if I'm going for, nowadays we have the multi-object detection, multi-classification. This is not suitable for sigmoid, so I have to go for softmax function in order to classify the objects. So when you go for fully connected layers, what will be happen? In previous convolution layer at all, I'm getting as a multi-dimensional. So multi-resolution, I have to make it to convert everything as a one-dimensional vector, because the probability value I have to consider from 0 to 1. So I have to convert all the matrix, two-dimensional matrix value, I have to convert it into one-dimensional vector. So that only I can easily make it to probability will be getting us. How the probability is going to be applied? With the help of sigmoid function. So sigmoid function will be carry over 1 by 1 plus e to the power of minus 5x. Sigmoid going to be applied for binary classification. Softmax will be applied for your multi classifications going to be processed. So that is a sigmoid does not taking us much more negative values. But here will be processing for your negative probability values, and we sometimes and negative background images we are going to be processed. Multi-classification, we have a probability value will be getting. Anyhow, the probability cumulative has to getting 1 finally. So the previous layer will be generally how the fully connected layer, the diagram will be is there. Previous layer will be as is there till feature extraction. Okay, that layer will be connected to your fully connected layer. That's become densely connected. What's the term densely means? Every node will be connected together with the every nodes. Okay, but some in the convolution and pooling, we can apply the dropout layers. Sometimes your model will be getting us overfitting. I can go for dropout, but in the fully connected layer, if it is not classified properly, I can go for dropout is also, but it will be considered for fully connected layer. Every neurons from the previous layer will be connected with the every neurons with the other layers. So that is the example here I am given as a 2 classification for process. The probability value of a softmax will be getting 0.8 or 0.2. I can make it to encoded like this. I have that how this ranges will be provided. If 0.9, 0.9, 0.8, 0.7 to up to till the value, I have to given us some classifications. So this is a softmax applied neurons will be happen from the previous layer. That means from the hidden layer, I'm going to be getting as an input. So the output layer will be getting as a probability value 2.33 like this. The value will be having positive or negative value from the matrix. Okay, so that is the thing will be happening here. So the output of this here will be carry over by the probability value that I'm going to be applied to a softmax, so that I can easily classify it according to the ranges of your probability value. So this probability of the class 1, class 2, class 3, for example, here I'm going to be applied exponential. What is the softmax equation? So 1 by 1 plus e to the power of minus z. So I have to apply, I'm getting as an equation of this. So what I'm going to given my input, the input will be having as a probability ranges. So which will be having as a high probability, that probability will be belongs to my input class. So that is a softmax classification. For example, here the input I'm going to given as a different, that is 3 images I'm going to given. That size will be 32 with the three channels. RGB I'm going to be given. So the shape will be 3GB channel will be going to be applied the matrix. This is this going to be finally from the fully connected layer, one-dimensional vector I have to get it. That's going to be, if what I'm going to given here 5. So the softmax of 5, the value I'm getting as a 0.71. Softmax 1 by 1 plus e to the power of minus z. Z is 5. This is going to be applied. I'm getting the probability. So similarly, we have to apply all the probability value will be getting here. So if you giving testing will be as a what images, that will be matches for cat and dog and horse. So according to that, it's going to be process your output. So now you consider for face recognition. This is a example I'm given for here. Face recognition, how it is going to be, the layers of will be as formed. So input is going to be processed as n number of input as a pixels, and matrix I'm going to be processed for the first hidden layer, second hidden layer, third hidden layer, which will be incorporated your convolution, pooling, and then fully connected layer will be processed. Everything we can name hidden 1, hidden 2, hidden 3. So first hidden layer, we are going to be getting only the edges from the faces. Okay, after that, I'm going to be hidden layer. I'm going to be getting us what is the edges of this face to identify to mainly high level features I have to extract. So finally, I have to getting as a what is the modules I have models I have to get it trained from that. I have to getting as to identify this faces will be uniquely. I can get it as in the hidden layer. The output will be as processed in images, but this everything will be showing as a pixel values as a probability values. We can view the images like this. So finally, output will be given when I given this input, and I classes the name I already given. So other general the name person you can specify here. So that's why in your Facebook, whenever your face will be as giving to your, if you are familiar person, the person's name will be as in your Facebook photos will be as appeared. So now we have some pre-trained network models, but I have a demo as how simple CNN model will be created. Now we'll see how the pre-trained network models will be created. So we have the familiar pre-trained network models, LeanNet, AlexNet, VGG16, Inception, and ResNet, and like GoogleNet. Like we have the n number of pre-trained network model is there. So why instead of customized pre-trained network model is there, in order to save your time and cost efficient, I have to apply. So first I will go for the LeanNet only detail. The remaining will be what is the architecture, we'll see that. So LeanNet architecture, what is the LeanNet architecture? The person Lee Khan, and by the year 1998, he proposed an architecture, convolution multi-layer perceptron architecture he proposed for image classification. So his name called it as Lee. It's a network of neurons. So why the 5 will be represented for 5 layers they are going to be started to use. 5 layers is a combination of convolution layers and average pooling layer they are going to be using. But nowadays maximum pooling layer going to be using. So how they are going to be using as here convolution and average pooling, convolution, average pooling. And then after that 2 fully connected layers they are going to be using. So totally 5 layers they are going to be formed. And softmax classifier they are going to be using to apply, so that it can be go for multi-classification. So initially I'm taking as an image how the architecture of image will be considered. This is the final architecture of LeanNet. So how it comes, that is a step-by-steps we'll see. So the first one, the input image I have to take on 32:32:1. So it is the height and width, and will be 1 will be represented for your grayscale images I have to take on. I'm applying this images with the convolution kernel will be 5x5, so that I can get it as in my output shape will be as 28:28:6. How you are going to be getting as here will be. So this is your input image or pixel value of height and width. Anyway, it's a square matrix. So that's a height I have to take it minus what is the convolution size 5x5. So 5 plus 1 will be added for representation of your biases. So that we have to make it's a 1 for representation of channel. If you are using as a 3 channel, I can give it as a 3 here. So I can get it as a 28. 32 minus 5 plus 1, 28. 28 I have to get it. And the 6 will be is a filter I am going to be. Number of filters will be user defined. We have to apply. So you have to choose it 6 or 22, 32. We can choose it as this. So when we go for this, input will be taken for 32:32:1. It's going to be given for after single convolution layer of kernel size will be 5x5. The feature map size will be 28:28 into 6. Okay, so now I'm going to be applying for your again maximum pooling. See here LeanNet. So I'm going to apply for average pooling. I'm getting as a matrix size will be applying this equation. I'm getting the filter size. Filter size will be constant. So it's never changes because the filter is going to decide your depth of the images. So the depth is not changed. Even the image size will be a shrink. Even expand or shrink, we are going to be making us the filter depth is constant. So you have to decide it. So that is the next I'm going to be process for pooling. Again, I'm going to applying the convolution. So again, I'm going to be applying as a pooling. Finally, it's go for fully connected layer 5x5 16. It's going to be getting as your 120 one-dimensional fully connected layer. It's going to connected your dense layer such that 84 neurons. The remaining neurons I have to make. I will be drop out. So it will, because of it will take more time if the more neurons are this process. And finally, in the LeanNet, totally they are going to be making as a 10 object is going to be classified. So I'm going to be getting as a 10 neurons as an output going to be projected. So this is the architecture complete diagram. So input is there, convolution I'm going to be apply, one feature I'm going to be getting, then maximum pooling I apply, Features will be get it again convolution, again maximum pooling, again convolution, fully connected layers. The final output we have to got that. So similarly, how you are stack your maximum convolution, according to that it will be changed. Your the name we can give it. So the LeanNet architecture will be considered for your input. So what is that input? Feature size will be considered for 32:32:1 here, because initially we don't apply any filter size at all for the input activation function. So the convolution 1, they are applied for 6 filters, and convolution 2, 16 filters, convolution 3, 120 filters they are applied according to LeanNet, the person, the Lee who is going to be designed. Likewise, you can design your own. Then filter size will be applying 5x5 and 5x5 and 2. Strides will be applying for 1 and 2. The combination they are going to be applied, and we can go for your activation function, TANH and softmax to do the process. So this is architecture details. We have to represent the parameters. Now we'll go for AlexNet. So AlexNet, how you are going to be processed? So input is there. RGB images is going to be processed. So it's going to be taking convolution, maximum pooling. Convolution will be 11x11, maximum pooling 3x3. Again the convolution and maximum pooling. Then again one more convolution, pooling and convolution pooling layer. Keep on, they are going to be added. We can get it as a for 227 color images of pixel. I getting as a 9216 features, one dimensional value. From this I'm going to be getting 4096 value. So that I'm going to be 1000 objects is going to be classified in the AlexNet, but LeanNet, the 10 objects only will be classified. So we have to choose it according to that. Next will be VGG. We have the convolution pooling, then 2 convolution, 1 pooling, 3 convolution, 1 pooling layer, 3 convolution, 1 pooling layer, 3 convolution, 1 pooling, fully connected layers you are going to be applying. Finally, we can get it VGG. So this is a VGG architecture, VGG 1619, we have that. So next, ResNet architecture. So in the ResNet architecture, first you are going to apply convolution, and same, we are going to be batch normalization, activation, and in the ResNet we have to combination of convolutions and maximum pooling will be with the help of the batch processing we are going to be apply, and average pooling we are going to be apply. We can get it as a softmax, and strides value will be 2, and here will be 3 and will be 5. So next, inception architecture, it's a combination of that. When you're taking as a filter, 3x3 matrix filter, I'm going to be consider. So this is a single filter. That is in this single filter, it will be combination of this all. So we have that 1x1 convolution, 3x3 convolution, 5x5 convolution, 3x3 maximum pooling. This combination I can call one convolution. So that is the inception, merging. So one convolution steps, in a single convolution steps, we have this n number of convolution steps will be as available. That is a inception is a complete diagram. We have that. So finally, we have the ZFNet. We have the combination of this architecture going to be presented. So now I'm taking as a demo for your CIFAR10 dataset. I have to consider CIFAR10 dataset for image classification. It's hold it as a 16,000 images. It will be having. In that, I'm taking as a 50%. That is 50,000 training images. And 10,000 I have to taking for testing images, but the CIFAR10 dataset is going to for classification of 10 classes. So they have the built-in model in that. That is training testing images they separated. Here I'm going to create my own CNN model that I'm going to apply to this dataset, so that how to predict correctly or not, I'm going to check it. So here this is the 10 objects only. They are going to be CIFAR10 dataset will be classified built-in, like auto, airplane, automobile, bird, cat, deer, dog, frog, horse, ship, truck. So we'll see that which classes will be, probability will be predicted will be high, okay, with the help of CNN model. So the coding part I will explain with the coding, and this is how the loss and accuracy of training and validation. I'll show it in the demo also. And confusion matrix, where is the probability will be high. For example, I'm applying my own CNN model. In that, I'm going to be getting confusion matrix will be 799, will be predicted and true labels 790. That means automobile will be as predicted and true value will be matching as a high probability. That means I'm designing this model, CNN model will be suitable for automobile classes will be predictions will be high. Other than that will be less. And wrongly predicted will be as cat, as wrongly predicted as a dog. So this is not suitable for this. My customized CNN model is not suitable for cotton cat and dog classification, because the predicted label and true label is taking as a more values. That's I'll show it as a demo here. And similarly, we can design your own CNN, that you can call 2D CNN model. And where we can use nowadays, the CNN will be in all the places we are going to be using in a computer visions applications like surveillance, banking, credit card, handwritten recognitions. In all the places we have to use it. So some references I have to given here, we can refer it. So now I'll show the demo. Okay, wait. Second, I'll show the demo of that. I'll show the Google Colab. Is it visible, my Google Colab? Sir? The Google coding screen is visible, sir?
No, ma'am, no. It is visible. Priya, ma'am? No.
Okay, now, sir?
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, now here I am taking as Jupyter Notebook. In the Google Colab, I'm running this coding. Otherwise, you can use it to your standalone environment. Anaconda, Jupyter, we can do that. Why I'm choosing as a Google Colab, it's having as a free RAM, nearly 15 GB RAM. They are going to be 15 MB RAM, and as well as the 50 GB hard disk they are going to providing as a free space, as well as the GPU they are providing, TPU they are providing. So fast execution I'm choosing as here Google Colab. So you can create your login Google Colab with your Gmail, and we can get it as an online environment platform. This is an online environment platform. You have to go for that. So first, what I'm doing has here CIFAR 10 image data sets I have to consider. That will be in a Keras package. So I'm going to be importing the CIFAR 10 data sets from the Keras data sets, and from that CIFAR 10 data, I'm going to loading the data, loading the data to the training data and testing data. And the training and testing data, I have to already said 50,000 I have to take in as a training images shape, and 10,000 I have to taking for testing images as a shape. So the shape will be 30 to 33 means RGB images only they are going to be processed. Then I have to go for here 10 only the classification going to be carry over. Here from the CIFAR 10 data sets, I show it as the first 9 images only, because 50,000 images we can't view here. Just I'm plotted as a matplot. With the help of that, I'm taking for only 3x3. Totally 9 images only I'm just carrying over to process. So I'm displaying the images. And after that, I'm going to convert all the pixel value will be as integer into the float in order to getting as a probability values. And here will be, I'm dividing as a 255. Sorry, here will be 255. The 255 value will be as provided. I'm going to apply the ReLU function and softmax. The probability ranges value will be taking for input will be 0 to 1. So images is not actually will be 0 to 1. It's 0 to 255. So that I'm going to be making us converting this training and testing will be divided by 255 and getting the matrix of 0 to 1 as the RGB values. So next I'm going to be consider for what are the classes here will be, they are given as a built-in from 0 to 9, airplane to truck they are going to given, and 10 classes I'm going to be supported here for training and testing totally, and that categorical value will be applying as a hopping. What is the one, we are for example white train of 0 here going to be taking, what is the images of one training images you are taking 10,000. In this first images 0, what it represented, it's going to be represented as a 000110. What it means, when I given here the position of 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th position is 1, which means the 6th position, the training of first images will be frog. So likewise, you can able to see that what is the training images will be as an order. We should have to make it to properly check. So the 6th images has to be classified as a frog properly. Okay, so next I'm going to be taking as defining the model. So this is my own customized model. So these are the packages we have to include. I'm going to creating as a sequential model, a linear equation, because we have RCNN, that is a feed forward neural network is there. There is not sequential, sequential with feed forward. So here I'm not using any feed forward RCNN at all. So simple CNN, so sequential I have to mention. And what are the layers we are going to be process? Convolution 2D and maximum pooling 2D. Or average pooling 2D, you can use the average pooling, you can use it. So what are the dense, flatten and dropout layers we are to using? So dropout layers, when my model is not, it's when the problem will be rises for overfitting, I can go for dropout. When the problems will be arise overfitting, when training accuracy is good, but testing accuracy is will be as poor, that time the model is not fit. So which means the model, what I have to design, this is not suitable here. I have to make it more generalized. So that is the thing, dropout layers. It will be, sometimes it will be, make it to dropout layers to make it as the neurons will be as projected as nil. Sometimes one neurons will be having projected from the input to the output. That neurons is not activated, the entire is not activated. So in order to overcome, we are going to drop out neurons going to be applied so that we can overcome that problems of overfitting. So now I'm going to be initialize that Adam optimizer I'm going to be applying here. Next the sequential I'm going to be assign. So first I'm going to be applying the convolution layer. So first this is my, I'm dividing as a first block, second block, third block. So first I'm going to be carry over convolution layer I'm going to be adding. So we are taking as your input images will be 32 cross 32 cross pixel images, because here I'm taking, we are see that 32 cross 32 cross input images. So that's the input I'm going to be convolution I'm passing. Kernel size will be 3 cross 3. I'm going to be pass it, and training I'm going to input will be where I have to carry over. From the training I'm going to be getting my input, and ReLU activation function I'm going to be applying. So second, again I'm going to apply the convolution layer. This is my customizer. So I'm doing designing my CNN. Convolution and maximum pooling. This is the one. Again convolution, maximum pooling. So third will be again convolution, maximum pooling I'm going to be applied. Finally flattening that layer going to be applied. So when you see that here convolution 2D kernel size. Okay. So here convolution input I'm going to given, kernel will be 3 cross 3 ReLU function. Here we no need to specify the input. Why means initially only the input I have to given to convolution layer. After the second layer, the previous convolution layer is going to getting as an output. That output has act as a input. So by adding here, automatically the output of first convolution layer, it's going to be input of the next convolution layer. So next I'm going to be applying the maximum pooling will be go for your 2 cross 2 matrix I'm going to be applied. Next I'm going for, this is a first block. Dropout layers we can apply if it is any neurons is not activated. So that's I can maybe drop out so that it will be reduced, the training and cost time will be reduced. So next second block, again I'm going to be applying the same thing, but the filter I'm going to be, kernel size is also the same, but here I'm taking input image size will be increased. So afterwards, next third block, similarly it will be going to be keep on increase, and dropout layers is going to be applied. Finally, flattening layer is going to be applied such that the parameters we are going to be getting from the third block. So what is the third block parameters will be totally here will be is there, that going to be given to us 128 dense layer. 128 dense layer will be convolved as a 10 dense layer. So dense, because here the 10 classification I have to consider. So softmax function I'm going to be using. Suppose here will be are considered for only binary classification. You can apply here will be sigmoid function instead of here. That time here dense, instead of that we have to give in as a binary value will be 2. Okay, so what is when I then I'm going to be summarize it. So this all the layers output will, model will be stored in that model is a way file I have to make it to consider. So what is the convolution 2D? The parameter will be considered totally 30 cross 30 and 32 will be considered for your total parameter will be 896. So finally, I think hope the last class how the parameter is going to be calculated. So total parameters. So to train this model in my CNN model, totally the training parameters will be considered for 3,48,100 parameters. So total parameters will be considered for this. And now I'm going to be apply for here. Now I'm going to be model will be created. Now I'm going to be compiled. So how the compile the loss function I have to calculate it, because while neurons will be passed to hidden layers, the loss will be happen while training. So categorical cross entropy we can apply for multi classifications, and we have to apply for binary cross entropy for binary classification. I'm going to be using for Adam, and learning rate I have to consider for 0.001. We have to change it if you didn't get any performance metrics is not satisfied. So the metrics accuracy I'm going to be processed here, and finally this model I'm going to be fitted with the help of this my training data and Y train data of CIFAR data. I'm going to fit my model. So I compiled it, and my model is there, and input is going to be passed here, and 20 epochs I'm going to be processed, 20 steps I'm going to be executed, and validation data is also considered. Batch size will be considered for 64. After that, I am going to store my model name is model CIFAR 10.h5. Even this model CIFAR 10.h5 is built in. We can download it. We no need to want to go to this process the steps. If it is, you don't want to make it to process this. Once model is customized, I can use this model to any applications. So that is a save. I'm going to be save it. So finally, every epoch is going to be run out. So the loss and accuracy for your training loss and accuracy, and validation loss and accuracy, which is equivalent to your testing validation and accuracy. You can every epoch it's keep on making to increase. You can see here 9.99, 9912 like this. It's keep on going to be increases, and validation accuracy it's keep on increasing, but in the certain stage it's going to be decreasing. It started to maintain as the same values. So I'm going to be plot my accuracy and loss. So for this CNN, my customized model, this is blue lines will be represented for training, and this another one for validation. We can see that training and validations model accuracy after some epochs it will be as a constant, but it will be making as a validation accuracy will be lesser than the training, which means testing accuracy is also lesser. So this is called as overfitting. So my training data is suitable for this model. My CNN model is suitable for training, but validation accuracy will be not increasing. So what I have to do, it's called as overfitting problem. To overcome, so you have to make it to makes the complexity in your CNN model. So that we have to add it as here, the complexity model will be more. So we can use any predefined train model, we can use it, or we can change any learning rate, you can change, weight we can change. So epochs it can be increased, we can to overcome this loss and accuracy. So next we have to make it as what is the confusion matrix going to be processed, and testing loss and accuracy for different 10 classes will be as process. I said already, no, 850 is the highest value will be automobile class will be predicted properly, but when we have that 151, the cat and dog value will be is misclassified. So this model is classification for automobile is exactly more than 80%, but it will be as a less percentage for your cat and dog. So this is how my models is going to be predicted. The output is going to be given for first 9 images I have to consider. The first will be as considered for true cat. The predicted is also cat. Okay. Then second images ship is predicted as it is the ship. The third will be, see here, I am given as a sample input I have to show in here will be as a 9. So how it is going to be predicted will be provided. So the ship is predicted as automobile. Here airplane is predicted as a true value will be airplane, but predicted is airplane, and predicted is frog and true will be frog, and like this they are given for the 9 sample I have to provide it. So now we see that already LeanNet architecture CNN. LeanNet architecture CNN means what I said. We have the 5 layers like 1 convolution maximum pooling, convolution maximum pooling, and convolution maximum pooling. Then we have to having convolution. Finally, flatten will be happen. So this architecture is a LeanNet architecture. We have a built-in code for this also. We can import that file in your coding. We can run it like this. What are the pre-trained model? We have that ResNet, Inception, VGG. That coding is available in the net, and Google Colab is also is there, or GitHub you can get it and upload that file in your folders while you are running. Then afterwards you can train it, and different and you can make it as the input will be changed, different data set we can use it, different models we can use it. You can train it, which will be epoch you change it, learning rate you change it, so that you can get optimizer is also you can change it, so we can get it an idea how the classification is happening. You can create your own CNN model, you can do that, train it, and we can easily classify the object will be processed. Okay, so this is a how the classification is process is going to be happen. So, sir, any queries?
Thank you, ma'am. Participant, if you have any doubt recording this session, kindly ask me, right? You put it in the message box. Pooja, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask a simple question. I have always query in that, like if you consider the 10-layer neural network, whether the input and output layer is included in this 10 layers or it is excluded?
The 10 layers of every layers will be as a concatenated with the previous input layers, so that output of each layer will be going to input of the, it's like as a cascading, so it's going to be processed and providing as an outputs.
Ma'am, my question was like if there is a 10-layer neural network and if there is an input and output, so the remaining layers are only 8 layers or like input and output are excluded?
It depends on the architecture, ma'am. We have the dropout layers is there. So dropout ratio 0.5 means it will be going to be processed according to that. So depends on purely the architecture, the hidden layer will be as going to be processed.
This is a user defined, right? You are designed the 10 layer means you are fixed to the first layer for your input means you fix it. Remaining is the hidden layer.
Okay, it's up to us.
Yes, yes. Purely is a resource user defined, right?
Okay.
So one more.
One more thing, ma'am. What is the real concept of dropout? Like I missed it. I didn't get what is dropout.
For example, if you are taking as a one neurons, that neuron probability is going to be getting us in between. For example, I'm saying, so I'm getting the probability value will be as first hidden layer will be getting as a 0. Okay. The probability value is 0. So due to that 0 value, I cannot make it to getting as an output of correct predictions. So totally the hidden layer of next hidden layer propagations will be getting as 0. So I can miss it as to identify the exact high level features of a particular object. So that's why dropout is going to be given and then it will be as reducing your time.
Okay, so the value can be given by us only, no? Like it can be like 0.3, 0.4. It is depending on our application.
Yes, we can change the dropout layers value and we can make it to train it and you can see that output how it will be is there.
Okay, okay.
Same epochs, 20 epochs, the dropout layer you can change 0.3, 0.5, 0.7. How what is the time taken you can identify.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, one more question is there from Balasamy. What is the difference between pre-processing and augmentation? Okay, so pre-processing will be helpful for making us removing unwanted things from your images. And when you're taking as an augmentation, it's going to enhance your images. For example, not enhancement. For example, I want more data images. Nowadays we have COVID situation. I'm taking the image for COVID. So the COVID data set is not having that much of images. For example, CIFAR-10, I have nearly 50,000 of images. In ImageNet data set, I have nearly millions of images. So my training is good. So obviously training is good, testing is good. But taking as an example, COVID or medical analysis problems, so the number of images will be, the data sets will be less. So obviously data set will be less. I have to making as the accuracy will be obviously less. Even you are having as a complex model, CNN, accuracy will be less. So what they will do, augmentation technique will be applied so that the single image, say for example, COVID X-ray images is there, CT images is there. I have to make it as applying different affine transformation like translation, rotation, scaling, a single image. I'm going to apply as a rotation, translation and shearing. These are the things we can apply so that a single image, I can get it as a 10 images. So if I have COVID will be COVID-19, this is my classification yes or no task. So only I have 300 images, images is there. I can apply the augmentation technique so that the affine transformation is applied. The 300 images, I have to make it to different scaling apply so that I can get it as 300 images going to be converted as 1,000 images. So 1,000 images input I have to get it instead of 300. Same image, I'm going to be given a different angles, rotation, I'm shearing, I'm going to apply it. So when training is improved, automatically number of input is high. So automatically my training is high. So testing is also accuracy will be high. That is the difference pre-processing and augmentation. Augmentation we can apply before pre-processing. We can get the different images. In built-in CNN, the pre-process is there. So in order to improve the complex applications, we can apply for the augmentations. Yeah, one person is asked how we can use our own data set in Google Colab. Yes, for suppose you are taking as a dog cat classification is a task. What you will do, you can download your images, own images, you can download it from the net and you can store it in your folder. In your Google Drive, you store it. In Google Colab, that Google Drive you can import. Instead of cifar.load data, you can give the path of Google Drive where is your folder of input images is there. So, but directly you cannot give it. So first zip, you have to make it to compress your data sets, and then in your Google Colab, you have to give the path uncompressed it. So through that way, you can give your own data set. One more question. One more question கொடுத்திருக்காங்க sir chatல. So avoid overfitting, we will go for augmentation. Not for overfitting the problem, your model cannot able to fix it. That means your model is simple. We have to make more complex model means that CNN model cannot able to read the features. They cannot able to identify localization. They cannot be learn the features. So they cannot specify that, they cannot read the generalized features from that. So that is the problem, overfitting. Augmentation will be, we can say overfitting problem. Sometimes if the data input will be very less, automatically the accuracy is also will be less. So that is the overfitting, we can go that. But exactly not overfitting, we can go for augmentation, it is not that. If the data is less, automatically the accuracy will be automatically less, underfitting will be happening. If underfitting, instead of overfitting problem, we can say whenever the underfitting problem will be happen, you can go for augmentation. When the underfitting problem will be happen, so your training input, even the training accuracy is not good. Automatically the validation testing accuracy is not good. So I have to improve my training accuracy. How I can improve my training accuracy? I given complex model, but even though the complex model I am given, I am not getting the accuracy in my training data. So what I have to do? The thing is, I need it as a more augmentation data. That is, the underfitting problem will be overcome with the help of this instead of overfitting.
Any more question? Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your nice presentation, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to the Panivala Engineering College and ME department as well as IT department of my HOD, Helda Mercy, and Maldi ma'am and Ambed sir, and who are the organizers of this FDP to giving us a one presentation to one session. Thank you so much, sir. Hope it will
Thank you very much, ma'am. Yes,
hope it
thank
will
you.
continue also.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So dear participant, you take 10 minutes break. After 10 minutes, kindly you should join, right? The same link. Good morning, sir. Ajay Kumar, sir. Hello, sir. Sir.
Yeah. Good morning, sir. Am I audible?
Good morning, sir.
Okay,
Hello, sir.
but your voice is not clear.
Now audible, sir.
Yeah, you are audible, but your voice is breakable. Okay. Okay. Can I check my PPT? So, I will go to the open share tray.
Huh?
So, PPT is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visible. Your PPT is
Okay.
visible, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Just check that it is moving. It is
Tell me,
moving.
sir. Yes, sir. Moving only.
Okay.
Sir, you put the slideshow, sir.
Okay. I'll put that at the time of presentation. I'll make it sized. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, take 10 minutes, sir, please.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. No issue.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.